your hands. Wave them at them bitches hating on you with their friends. Girl, you got it.
Welcome to the Peaches and Cream Podcast.
We're two best friends.
Navigate life and discover purpose.
Through sisterhood.
Through sisterhood.
Through sisterhood. I don't know.
I thought you was going to say like you weren't navigating.
Girl, I'm always navigating. Okay.
Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Okay, so on today's episode, we're going to jump into our sweet and sours of the week. Yes. But then we're going to transition and we want to talk about something a little bit more, I would say kind of triggering a little bit.
Yeah, trigger warning.
Trigger warning for sure. So we're going to talk about body dysmorphia today and what that looks like, some of the symptoms, how it's impacted our lives personally, how you can overcome some of the symptoms of I was about to say personality disorder. Body dysmorphia.
Body dysmorphia.
Yes. So we're going to start with our sweet and sours. Honestly, y'all, I haven't even thought about my sweet. I've just been living in paradise because, as a Friday, I started summer break from my job. So I'll say my sweet is just honestly waking up and doing whatever I want to do. Like, I went skating. I've just been having a time going skating, just like linking up with people, not really having a routine schedule. However, I don't want to get too comfortable in that because I know the power of routine, but I just wanted to give myself at least like 2 weeks of just not doing much, not having to worry about a lot of things. So I will say that is my sweet.
That's just sweet. That's just sweet. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of on a summer schedule too. I think I touched on the last episode, I resigned from my job. So I'm like 6 weeks out. And so I just took it upon myself to let them know I'm only going to be coming 2 days a week. I feel very empowered by that, this is not a negotiation. This is what will be taking place. So that's kind of my sweet. And I've been at that clinic for almost 3 years, which to know me is to know I don't stay at jobs very long. So I'm just kind of like, soaking in that I really like saw it through and I'm leaving like with good character and integrity. So I'll still be able to work with that clinic part-time, but your girl's out of there. So I'm excited about that. And then I'm going to be on a school schedule too.
She don't even realize. You so excited. Like, it's a good thing.
School schedule
I know,
before.
it's a good thing, but I'm just like, waking up early, it just be, that's my thing.
I'm
not a morning person.
Discipline, though.
You do?
But for me, because the thing is, like, working from home and doing the hybrid stuff, it's cool in the beginning, but, like, you can kind of get into the routine of it that, like, I procrastinate a little bit more or, I kind of drag my feet. I get a lot of stuff done around the house and stuff. But when it comes to like my career, professional wise, like I notice I be dragging more. Whereas if I'm getting up and I'm getting into a building, I'm more motivated. I'm around people, so I'm like engaging, more social. I think it's, it's a combo of both. But I think after really thinking about it, I'm like, I do need to be back in a summer schedule, or not a summer schedule, but a school schedule, because it brings out a better disciplined version of me. Which is kind of like my sour too. Let's flow into the sour. I'm jealous because all my people are on summer break. My mom, Natalya, a couple close friends, some of my old staff members from the school I was at, they all been calling me. Everybody's chipper. Everybody feels so light. So that's another thing where I'm like, I wish I didn't even have to clock in. Even though I'm like hybrid, I don't even want to like check my email right now.
Everything got its pros and cons.
It do.
Everything got its pros and cons. My sour, honestly, I'm just living my life like it's golden. Living my life like it's golden. I don't have no sours, y'all. Life is sweet. Like, life is really sweet. Like I said, I've just been chilling, relaxing, just preparing for some things coming up in the next week or two. So I don't know, like I don't really have a sour to share.
That's good.
Yeah, everything's actually really good.
Which again, I'm like, that's like a theme that we've been talking about in the episodes. It's such a new season for both of us. Typically, I do find something to stress, complain, or be worried about, or like anticipating the worst to come. And God has really, it's been beautiful to see that God has not only brought me, but the people around me. Like, we're all in a more peaceful state of mind. There's not like the expectation of something crazy gonna happen. And then I also see that our faith has grown so much that even if something does negative happen, I feel like we will respond way different than maybe we would have done 10 years ago. It's kind of just like, well, that's life. Like, okay, we'll get through it.
I think overall for me, I'm just at peace with a lot. So no matter what emotion I'm going through, I know that it's temporary, or anything that I'm going through, it's just a temporary situation. So yeah, like what you're saying, I don't feel the need to stress about it. It always works itself out. Honestly, the stuff that I was stressed about like 5 years ago, I don't even remember it. So why would I stress about something today? So yeah, I'm just really at peace right now, just trying to enjoy life. I've been also just spending more time with God. Y'all know I love God more than anything. So it's just been, it's just been real cool, calm, and collective over here, you know.
Yeah, we staying prayed up.
We staying prayed up. I pray for everybody. I've been waking up. You want to pray together?
Let's pray.
Let's pray, yes.
Stay prayed up.
I don't really have a lot of anxieties right now or any stressors. So, yeah, everything's good.
That's a great space to be
I'm at a really
in.
good space.
And it's no cap, y'all.
It's not. I'm not over here.
Please know we went through.
Understand.
We've been through the mud.
Understand. Like, there was a period when we had first moved out here. I always think about this. When we first moved out here, me and Zom decided we were just going to take our mattresses and our clothes and maybe like a couple pots and pans. That's all we had. And when we moved into this apartment, we had absolutely nothing. Like, I was sleeping on a mattress on the floor
for a long period of
for
time.
like
for me,
maybe a good 5-6 months. That was the situation. Finally got our beds. Then in the living room, we had absolutely nothing, no TV stand, all of this stuff that you see in our apartment, it was non-existent. So just to know like all the efforts and what God has put and allowed us to receive in our lives, like I think that it would be selfish for me to complain about anything because I know where I started from. So again, I'm at ease, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm at ease. I'm very thankful, just like really in a space of gratitude. And I can't help but to think about the days when we didn't have nothing.
Yeah, we needed that.
Yeah.
We needed that season for sure. And I think we've even mentioned like we started off in DC in a basement of our friend's house.
That's really how it started.
Yeah, like we went from there, came here. Yay, we have a spot, but we have no furniture. I know at the time I was like working many different contract jobs, still not even making enough to cover my rent. So for God to have me in a space now where it's like, okay, I have options, or, you know, I can really afford things for myself. I think it's important to stay grounded. I've been on this whole thing of like, I don't want to say humble completely, because I feel like in Christianity, like humble means like you can't enjoy luxury things in life. Like, you know, like, because I grew up in more of an old school church setting. So I felt like they looked at the rich as like, they think they're better or whatever the case may be. And I think that it's okay to experience the luxuries of life, but staying grounded and understanding that those luxuries can be taken away anytime. Like, it's still like a privilege, and understanding where the source of that comes from. I know that God has given me these gifts to do my job that then provides the resource for me to, you know, have things, and I don't want to get completely lost. So that season was what that definitely taught me. Like, just as easy as God can give it to you, it could be taken away. So don't get too lost in that, you know.
Yeah, I'd be like, humbly, like at the end of everything, like, I got that bag humbly. Humbly, because that's where I think of it. Is I don't see anything wrong with receiving, because everything that I have is a product of God. So even if it's the smallest little trivial thing or like a little trinket that means maybe nothing to y'all but everything to me, it came from God. So I don't think that it's anything wrong with wanting like the finer things in life. Like, I like to keep myself up, and this actually is like gonna flow into the next topic. Like, I love to keep myself up. However, it's all because of God. It's all because God allowed me to do that. Now, maybe I didn't make the right decisions. He might have gave me something and I utilized it in the wrong way. But I will say, just like the roof over my head, like the basic necessities, like that is because of God. And no matter how much it costs, it means the most to me, because it's something that I had to work hard for. Like, everything is a resource from God. So I don't think it's anything wrong with wanting to have like the updated phone or, you know, a new vehicle or whatever the case may be. Like that's something that means something to you. And if God gives you that blessing, that's from God. So I'm like, who are you to tell me as a Christian, like I'm supposed to be so humble that I don't want anything in my life?
Yeah.
You want me to want the bare minimum?
I think it's like intentionality behind everything. Like, what is your intentions? Are you wanting that new car because it'll mean getting validation from other people, and now people are going to think you're cool, or, you know, think you got money, and the whole time you are stressing every month just to pay that car note? Or is it like, no, I'm in a position where I can go ahead and buy that car off the lot, and that's what God gave me, you know, to do. That's where I'm at with it. I'm like, God, teach me how to be financially wise, like surround me with people that are able to pour into me and show me how to be smart, so that way I don't have to like acquire these things and then come back down, acquire these and then come back down. Like
I want to maintain
I
what I got.
maintain it. I want to make sure that I'm building wealth. Like I don't want to necessarily be rich. I want to have wealth that spreads across my family to the next legacy for my parents and things like that. So just staying grounded in that. Like God is taking me into a different tax bracket, and although it's an amazing feeling, I also understand like I still got to stay grounded, because this tax bracket, I'm trying to be a part of the 1%. Okay, so my tax bracket still ain't there yet, so I can't get carried away and go like, yeah, I just want to go like shopping. I want to go on like a shopping spree. That's where my heart is. That's where my heart is.
I was trying to follow.
That's where my heart is, to go, you know, just blow my checks on that. Woo! But like also at the same token, like I used to love thrifting. I love going to Ross and TJ Maxx. I don't want my heart to shift from that. You could still be the fly girl and do that, and just, you know, be patient, like patience, and really surrendering to God and trusting, like, okay, stay down.
I think you should never be too good to do normal stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that that's a result of social media too, because there was like a period where, I don't know if y'all remember when everybody was arguing, like, he better not take me on my first date to the Cheesecake Factory or Fridays. It's like, dang, y'all too rich for me.
Don't fly Spirit.
Don't fly Southwest. I'm like, sweetheart, that's how you maintain what you got. Yeah. Me.
They always want to put us in competition.
I'm buying Coach.
Like,
you can still catch me at Cheesecake Factory.
And I will be on Southwest.
Yes. I love Southwest. I had, matter of fact, if y'all tuned into my last episode, this is me being messy, but the friend that hit me with the take care, I don't know if we're gonna clip that out, but
no, we're gonna keep
that in. Okay. So there was a point. So if you don't know, Southwest, their hub is in Dallas, and we're from Dallas, so I always fly Southwest to go back home. I have nothing bad to say about Southwest. Like, they get me where I need to be. I feel like it's comfortable, it's affordable.
2 free bags.
2 free bags. Like, I can go on and on about the perks of Southwest for me personally. So there was a period of time where I think we were trying to plan a trip or something, and I was like, oh, you know, they got some deals on Southwest for this, that, third. And she was like, me and my friend were talking, and we just feel like Southwest is just kind of like the budget airline, and I no longer can get on Southwest. And so I only do, she was like naming the airlines, like I only do this airline. And I'm like, you know what I told her? Baby, you can still catch me on Southwest.
I'll be there.
Like, I'm still gonna be there. Like, so anyway, I just don't understand when we got to a space where we got too good for certain things. Like, do what works for you. Like, don't ever try to keep up with the Joneses. That's something my parents always taught me, like old school saying, you know, sweep on your own front porch. Like, don't be worried about what Betsy down the street is doing. She got Louis Vuitton and you can afford Coach. That's fine. There was probably a point where you couldn't even afford the Coach. Like, just continue to maintain, live within your means, and God will continue to bless you to allow you to get more and receive more. It's that simple. But yeah, like,
I'm gonna link the interview, but it was this, he's like the biggest minority homeowner. And the man has over 700 single home properties. It's like $1 billion, almost $1 trillion business that it's a nonprofit, and he pours into Black communities, like teaching them how to like spend our money. And he was just basically saying, like, us as minorities, black and brown individuals, we contribute the most to the economy. We spend money. We know how to get money.
For sure.
But we have no equity. We have barely any of the home buying market. We're not even like touching 1-2% of that. So I think for me, that is something that is really important. Like, I definitely want to see my family have more wealth and not having to work 9 to 5s or feeling like you have to go get a degree. Like, I want my kids to, like, here, baby, here, 500,000. Let's go ahead and build your business up, and then you do you, and then we flip the money and do this. But we just really have been in a community that's very, like, what you see. Like, we're very influenced by what you see, especially us working in schools. Like, I know I see that a lot working with the kids. Like, they want to make sure they have the latest.
It's about looking the part.
Yeah.
It's like, no matter how much I have in my account, as long as I look like I belong in this space,
they can't say nothing
they
to
can't
me.
say anything to me. And I think that's something that we've been conditioned in the black community, especially being from the South. It's very flashy back home. Like, I remember somebody had used this saying, they're like, Texas is the home of the 30,000 millionaires, because people be making like 30K, but be in the newest Benz, got the Louis Vuitton and the sections, all of these things. And it's like, again, live amongst your means and what you're saying. Like, try to build some type of generational wealth. Like, leave something behind for your family, even if your desire is not to have kids. Your nieces, your nephews, your cousins, like, leave something behind for them. So
get some life insurance.
Get some life insurance.
Don't have
your
GoFundMe
family
for your funeral
stressed out trying to figure out how they're gonna pay to bury you. That's the last thing they should be worried about. So yeah, I think that just maintaining a different mindset, you know, understanding like your values, what's important to you, and keeping that grounded, like what you said, like just be grounded in that. Focus on you, because don't go broke trying to keep up with everybody else.
Right.
Point blank.
Because they ain't gonna be nowhere. I'm gonna tell y'all this. When we were in this apartment with no furniture and just made the leap of faith to come out here, and we weren't probably doing the things that other people were doing, we didn't hear from nobody. I ain't gonna say nobody, but you know, we heard from like our close circle. But the people I was kicking it super heavy with in Dallas when I was in all the sections and out and going on the trips all the time, I didn't hear from none of those people. Now that I've been posting, oh, I got my license, I'm going to India, da, 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 da. Now I hear from these people. And it's just human nature. I'm not mad at these people, but that's just goes to show people are only in it for sometimes just for the image and how it may appear, but they don't really care to be with you when you have to do the dirty work. So you have to be mindful, like, what are my intentions? Am I doing this just to keep people's attention and get validation from them? Or is this truly aligned with what God has for my life? And sometimes God will put you in a space of solitude where you can't be super flashy and you can't be at every event. And that's when you're going to find out who's really there for you. Get them squares about your circle. Separate the real from the fake.
All right, y'all, we're gonna move along. Okay, so first we want to actually give y'all the clinical definition of what body dysmorphia means. So I'm gonna start off. So body dysmorphia, also called body dysmorphic disorder, is a mental health disorder that leads to distress over your appearance. You may think certain parts of your body are defects. Other people may not be able to see the things you perceive as flaws. As a result, you may have psychological distress that can interrupt your everyday life.
Good job, Miss Jackson.
Go ahead, lead us on, Miss Austin.
Okay, so some of the symptoms of body dysmorphia could look like engaging in repetitive and time-consuming behaviors like looking in the mirror or avoiding the mirror, picking at your skin, trying to hide or cover up, or constantly pulling out your phone to look at yourself in the camera, comparing your body parts to others, constantly asking for reassurance that the defect is not visible or too obvious. Like, so do I look big in this? Do I look too small in this? Not believing others when they say you look fine, repeatedly measuring or touching the body part, having problems at work, in school, or in relationships due to the inability to stop focusing on the perceived defect, feeling self-conscious and not wanting to go out in public, or feeling anxious around others, seeking out plastic surgery or other cosmetic procedures to improve appearance, And then not being satisfied with attempts to improve your appearance. Some of the areas that people may fixate on is their face, nose, their complexion, wrinkles, blemishes, your hair, thinning or balding, skin and veins, breast size or appearance, muscle size and tone, and then the last one was genitalia.
Yes. So
this was the WebMD definition. I highly recommend if you ever are thinking that you have any type of diagnosis, make sure you're using WebMD and not TikTok or Instagram.
Okay. Yeah, because a lot of y'all be diagnosing yourselves off of TikTok. Like, I understand TikTok is a beautiful platform. It is very resourceful. You can learn a lot of information. And sometimes, actually, this is what I do, side note. So if I'm interested in something, because I also am a visual learner, so a lot of times, and I like real stories. So for me, I'll do my research through the web. I will look at, also, if you didn't learn this in school, make sure it's like .org, at the end of it. So I'll do my research, and then if I want to hear like real stories, or maybe like a licensed professional, they might have a TikTok, then I'll go over to TikTok and kind of listen to it just to get the hearing portion and the visual portion of it. But don't just rely on TikTok. Know who the person is. Like, are they credible? Are they a credible source? Like, you can't just be listening to anybody on the internet and think that everything is just 100% what they're saying. What they're saying is golden. So I don't even know how we should dive into this body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
Because this is such a loaded thing for me.
It's very loaded.
It's very loaded.
Very loaded.
Body dysmorphia for me, like, I definitely will say that I have symptoms of body dysmorphia. I will say from childhood, maybe like middle school, that's when I started to realize, like, when I recollect on when it started for me, it was definitely middle school. I'm a petite person. I'm 5'4". Most of my family is actually tall, but for whatever reason, I did not get that gene. Me, my mom, and my papa are like the smallest out of the family. So again, they're pretty petite too. And I remember this was probably around the time that some family trauma was happening. And so I started to eat whatever. Like, we had moved to a new area at the time. And I was just like, I never wanted to move. Like, you get comfortable, complacent, and especially as a kid, you got your friends. Yeah. And my parents were just like, oh, we're up and moving to the middle of nowhere, y'all. It was like, I swear the town had 1,000 people in it. And so anyway, we moved to this beautiful house, and it's called Nevada, Texas. So we moved to this beautiful house, and I just started eating up everything. Like, everything I could see, no limitation. And so I probably went, I don't know how much I weighed at the time, but I went from being like the small little petite little kid to a chubby kid. And so me being me, like, I'm still active. I still always have my same personality. So it was fine. But then I think by middle school, that's when you start to become like more in tune with like appearance and you're going through your hormones, you're going through puberty. So then that's when I realized, I'm like, oh, I'm a little bit thicker than the rest of my friends. And I also went to like a predominantly white school, so you have to think about body types. So here I am, this black girl with these white friends, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm comparing myself to their body standard, and that was just never what I should have been comparing myself to. So then I went through a phase where I just wouldn't eat. Like, it went from me overeating to not eating, and then I lost, I think at this point, I'm in 8th grade, I went from like 160 pounds, I'll never forget this, to like 120 in a matter of a year. And my family was like, oh my God, like they were raving over my body. Like, it's good. Like, it was good. The whole time, I'm starving myself. So they're like, oh, you look good. Like, older families, like, what did you do? Like, what's the diet? And mind you, let me include that I was very active in sports too. So like, I also was doing volleyball, I was also doing cheer, but the way that I lost that within, and you gotta think school years are shorter. So I lost this in a school year. I lost about like 30, 35 pounds in a matter of like 5 months, and I'm a kid. So I looked amazing. And then I also had like a really small friend at the time. So I remember like just trying to like keep up with them, like keep up with this body standard of like a white cheerleader. Pretty much that was like the body standard I was going after. So anyway, I maintained that weight all the way up until I transferred colleges. So I was like 130. I never really got over 145 until sophomore year of college. But I'll say this, I'm gonna cut my story short. Anytime that I gained a lot of weight, it was because something traumatic was happening in my life.
Yeah.
Like anytime I think about, okay, from me going from 145, I went from 145 and then it shot up to like 200 pounds in college. And nobody ever asked Natalya, like, dang, what's going on? Like, you good, friend? It was always like, girl, you getting thick. oh, I see you getting big. You get around your family. Girl, you getting big again. Like,
why do black people always want to do that?
Like,
too?
dang,
Like,
you ain't seen me
always
in 10
got
years.
comments on our weight.
So it went from that, and so then again, it triggered my body dysmorphia. Because imagine like somebody commenting on your body, like, I'm about to graduate college. Not a lot of people even do that in my family, and that's what you're concerned about.
Worried about my weight. Well,
You're worried about my weight.
To graduate.
Like, dang, I'm over here stressed trying to get this degree, trying to figure out my next phases in life. So yeah, I had gained weight. And then also it was just like some other things going on. I'll get into that later on. But so yeah, I feel like for me, it's always like weight gain over excessive of eating. And then that leads to me like picking myself apart in the mirror. Like, oh, dang, my stomach not as flat. It's summertime. We used to spend a lot of time in Miami. And that was like the worst city for me. Like Miami, I love Miami for other reasons, but also Miami brings a lot of like triggering points for me. Because imagine, and I have nothing against anybody who gets surgery, by no means, but like Miami is known for like a very specific body type. So imagine me, I'm telling y'all I gained all this weight and then we go to Miami. I'm looking like a whale on the beach. My friend's looking good as shit. And I'm a whale.
And I remember, I know the trip that you're talking about because we both were like going through it at that time. And like to go back and look at the pictures and to see that we really didn't even look that bad.
We didn't.
Like, at all. It was all a mental thing. But I remember we were there for like maybe 3 or 4 days. And the whole time I was miserable in my mind because I was just like, oh my God, I look so fat. Like, oh, my stomach's hanging out. Or look, you know, like every time we took pictures, I'm like doing all of this.
Trying to cover the stomach
just
up.
Couldn't enjoy the fact that like, girl, you're in Miami. Like, and at that time, like to be able to do that young with your girlfriends and stuff like that.
We were like 21 going to Miami like every other month.
Kicking it. Like, it was just like, I could not enjoy myself whatsoever. And then, comparing my body to other people's body types or feeling like my clothes aren't sitting on me the correct way. And then not really wanting to post the pictures, like have a whole photo shoot and be like, trash all 50 of those pictures.
I don't even want to post them.
I don't even want to post it. I feel like I look fat. But like now I look at those pictures, y'all, I'm like, oh my God, that little girl is so pretty. Like it was just like I can appreciate it more now. But yeah, I definitely can relate.
Yes.
Definitely can relate.
Yes. So yeah, I think for me too, comparing myself to other people's bodies, and what I do now is so different. Like, it's funny because I actually weigh the same that I weighed in college, but because I've matured, my body type has changed. You know, I'm getting into my grown woman body a little bit. But anytime that I don't necessarily like what I see, I don't know. I don't spend as much time trying to pick apart myself.
Yeah.
Like, I think it does take a lot of work to pour into yourself, especially as a woman. So rather than having negative thoughts and speaking negative things to myself, because words have truth, I do affirmations. So rather than me, like, I'll be honest, I'll be very transparent, like my arms, that was another thing. Like my body, I'm sorry to my family if y'all watching this, because I'm about to talk a little bit about the Black family.
No,
but it would be like the worst comments I received would be from close friends and my family. I remember that time when I gained the weight in college. I'll use that experience. My close friends, like I remember, I don't want to say no names because you know this person, but I posted a picture on Instagram thinking I look good. Like, I finally hit a space like, okay, yeah, I'm a little thicker than a Snicker right now, but should that stop me from posting on Instagram? So I post this little picture and the person DMs me talking about, dang, Nat, like you look good, but you gained a lot of weight. I never told you this? Can you see my lips? Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, they seem like the type.
Yeah. So, y'all, I have feelings. So, I think I deleted that photo shortly. I was like, dang. Like, and this was coming from a man and a close friend at that. Like, nothing romantic, just like my homeboy. And so, anyway, it came from, like, people like that. It came from family members who follow me online. But it's like, the moment I felt like my body is nice and tight, like, I feel like my body looks really good right now. But it's not because I did anything per se. Like, yes, I've lost weight, but there's a lot of things that I do behind the scenes. Like I said, like, I try to take away the negative self-talk. So I'm not saying my body is not perfect by any means. Like, there's still some things that I want to work on, but should I sit in the mirror and pick at it all day? Like, oh my God, you know, I'm bloated. I'm a woman. I have a cycle. You know what I mean? I'm going to get bloated again. So do I sit in the mirror and contemplate, oh, I need to do 50 crunches and go get lipo? Or do I be like, give myself some grace? Hey, you're on your cycle today. You look good. Wear a different outfit. You know, so there's just things that I've had to do to really like implement so I don't have all these negative thoughts, because that does transfer, and then it just pours into my body dysmorphia. And then I know me, I know how I respond now. Like at that time, 21-year-old Nat did not know how I responded to stress or trauma. Like at that time, it's just like I eat. Now it's like, okay, I might eat a little bit more, but I'm eating healthier things. So it's like I'm less inclined to gain weight. But yeah, it's just funny how now, like, I think that, you know, I'm coming into my grown woman. I do little things outside. I'm pretty active. So I feel like I do have a cute figure. And people be on me like, white on rice. I got a lot to say, but I'm going to let you talk.
Yeah,